Do you have a buzz in the street at all at
Yeah,
this
my, my,
point?
my buzz in the street was crazy. Like, you gotta figure I was on I started doing a lot of freestyles and shit on a come up show with Cosmic Kev and Q Deezy. It was like that was the thing in the city. Like if you was on the radio, if Cosmic Kev was playing your freestyle, bringing that shit back, shouting you out, and and you was hard, it was over. So it was like I had the streets, like they would with me hard. And I'm talking about at the time, you gotta understand. And I tell people this all the time. I was dropping freestyles and getting motion at the time when Beanie Siegel and Major Figures was out. State Property didn't come yet. They was on their way though. I'm talking about when it was Beanie Siegel, Gilly, and Spade and all of them, and when they was going crazy like on everything. They was doing the Dead Man Walk in on Flex, and they was doing a lot of shit. I'm in pocket. I ain't had no team. It was just me. It was just me just coming from the streets. It was just me just coming with this voice. And I kept hitting and kept hitting them. And then, I started doing joints with them. You know what I'm saying? And I just was smashing all over the radio. Like nonstop. Every freestyle, every record. I knew how to make records. So I was always just in that. I was always in that pocket. I was always in that list. They couldn't deny me. Even if you ain't like me, you ain't had no choice but to say, man, that nigga be all over the radio though, bro. He always coming with some shit every time.
Were you meeting anybody or getting noticed by anybody at this point?
At that point, I would say like I was still in the streets hard. I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was just like all I had at that time was Cosmic Kev. You know what I'm saying? And I would take him shit and he'd be like, yo, this too long. Or yo, why you ain't do this? Or yo, why you ain't do that? And I would take it back and critique it. So still to this day, when I go and I make records, I think about shit that he taught me. Because the DJ know how a record is. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be. So, at that time, I kind of like, he all I had at that time. And we used to go at it. I'm talking about like, we used to argue, yell at each other, damn near about to fight, like all kinds of shit. This used to be crazy. But I was just passionate about what I was trying to do. And we knew each other for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And his brother, rest in peace to Kenny Lee, that was my man too. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different relationship. So I ain't gonna say me and him had a hate-love relationship. I wouldn't say hate and love because it sounds weird. We just had it was a real friendship. Friends go through shit. You know what I mean? He just wouldn't play shit just because we was cool. It had to be hot.
How'd you guys meet?
We met through somebody, and when we met, we was about to fight. And I think he just kind of liked it, me, like, I'm gonna see what he about. You know what I'm saying? And then he just started liking me and shit. You know what I'm saying? When he was going to the radio stations, I would go with him. You know what I'm saying? And sit there while he doing his sets. A lot of people don't know this shit. Like I used to sit there when he first was doing his hours, an hour and a half, and I would sit there. Or sometimes I would go down and hear him in Kobe Code and watch him. You know what I mean? And watch him and QDZ just do the show. You know what I mean? Like I was there when it's funny because when Beans got his deal, I was there the first day he rapped. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard him rap, I'm in the other room with Cosmic Kev because I was supposed to do an interview that day. And he was like, yo, I need you to do me a favor. Like, he's like, yo, I need you to let me push the interview back the next week because I got this kid from South Philly just got signed to Rockefeller. At the time, he was Beanie Mac. He coming up to spit. Now, mind you, I wasn't one of those guys that would rap for hours or spit all these verses. I wasn't doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't taking that from nobody else, but I was too in the streets for that shit. I ain't got time to be saying right no more 1,000 bars. I'm not doing that shit. I'm gonna give you 16 and you can get the fuck out of here. So he came up. I said, all right, cool. I said, I want to see him. Because nobody knew what he looked like. So I'm like, all right, bet. He like, come up. I come up, I'm sitting in the DJ room with him, but they on the other side. That nigga started rapping. I was like, man, I'm done with this rap shit. He got it. That nigga started rapping over that DMX beat. He just wouldn't stop. That nigga rapped for like 2 hours straight. Like I ain't never seen no shit like that before in my life. I said, I'm done with this shit. I'm done. It's over. I ain't even want to do it no more after that. But then I started, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing. But yeah, that was an eye opener for me when he came.
And at one point, Rick Ross signs Meek Mill.
He signed
And
Meek Mill. It's crazy because he signed Meek Mill probably, 2000 and maybe 11, maybe, I think. Maybe 10 or 11 or something like that. But, and that was another thing I didn't like about the situation, because me and Meek come from the same hood. You know, we both from the same city. And, you know, at the end of the day, Fifth is my man. Yayo is my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're my brothers. Like, I could get anything from them. They'll do anything for me. And in his defense, Ross is his man. Ross changed his life. And it got a bit tricky with me and Meek for a second. It got uncomfortable because it was like, we knew, like, if we ever seen each other, we wasn't going to go at each other. Like, we wasn't going to do that, but we didn't like it. It was uncomfortable. We actually just had a conversation about that shit recently. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just an uncomfortable thing. Like, you know what I mean? But he understood that they were already going through it before he actually decided to with Ross. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it just like was what it was. You know, it's kind of like knowing two people that know the same people and they both going through some shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
man, that was yeah. I can imagine that was probably pretty difficult for you guys.
No, it was. It definitely was. And then it got difficult again later for me when him and Meek started to kind of like go through it for a second. You know, only because it was just like I didn't understand what was going on. And I wasn't here. I was in the feds. You know what I mean? It was uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? But they worked it out. You know what I mean? They talked and seen eye to eye or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? That's what men do. You know what I mean? And guess what? I just feel like even with this situation, when people when they get physical with people, it's hard to turn that around to make it like okay. You know what I'm saying? But when you going back and you keep going back, all you're doing is making people on your side. You're just making people on your side upset. You're making people on my side upset. They don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear what you would have done to me. You know what I'm saying? Same way your people don't want to hear what I could have done to you or what I will do to you. You understand? Nobody wants to hear that shit. So it's like, leave that shit alone. If not, if you feel away, then let's get in the ring and fix it. Easy.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.